following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley, and Shannon Gross.
Monday, and I'm pumped up because it has been a long time since we've had the band together.
Yes, sir.
Nice several weeks.
Together. Is this foreign or a journey, Kurt?
It's a what?
Anthrax.
Foreigner or journey?
Who's your favorite band, Kurt?
Favorite band?
Think about it. Think about it, because you're looking live at Tostitos Championship Plaza outside Ford Center at the Star in Frisco. It's very ominous. It's stormy.
What does that mean?
Gloom. Very
Micah Irvin.
threatening.
Dark.
Yeah, very
dark.
Ominous means like not good. Not good. It doesn't look good outside. 61 degrees, feels like 58.
That's me, 61, baby. I love it.
The
I love
high
it today.
is 70. The low tonight is 49. It's storming here.
Yeah, it's
supposed to storm. Is it storming all week? Or just today?
Just today.
Yeah, just today. And it's going to be in the high 70s the rest of the week. Spring is here. Who's your favorite band, Kurt?
Let's go with Foo Fighters.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, what was some of their songs, Kurt? I don't know them well.
Like, no, wait. You said, really? Like, what answer could he have given you that not made you?
Metallica.
You just Metallica, your response would have been what?
I'd been like, all right.
Yeah.
Who the band you don't like that was big and booming? A band that you don't like that got it going on?
Now or back in the
Cool
day?
in the Gang used to be, even though they had some good songs, they just never moved.
Why you look at me
man.
when you said Cool in the Gang? Because I'm the only other black guy on this table with you?
Maybe because
Cool and Gang crossed
because you're to the left and he was already looked at me and Kurt.
Yeah,
Why
Cool
you
in the Gang.
Why
Cool
you
in
so
the Gang.
sensitive today?
Now Cool and Gang crossed over white and black. So
Yeah, we like some Cool in the Gang.
Come on now, you better open your eyes, just.
Why you didn't ask me what band I like?
Because I ain't got around that far yet.
Hey.
Jesus.
Bob Marley.
See, he can say that.
You can say that.
Could I?
Yeah.
Possible ideas.
Stop. No, you derailed this train. We're going to ride it for a minute.
Cowboys actually being smart by reworking the cow.
Who's your favorite band, Jesse?
I have no band. Band?
Person, rapper, singer, whatever.
Who's your favorite artist, musical?
You're an R&B guy, don't you?
Yeah, I'm an R&B guy. Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson?
My favorite
Yes, sir.
R&B group is Jodeci.
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
man.
Back in the day.
Jodeci.
That's
Yes.
what, early 90s?
Yeah.
Late 80s, early 90s?
90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
What about you,
Jodeci.
Nate? Who's your favorite musical
he
artist?
got me. He got me. Michael
Jackson?
man.
Yeah.
I was going to say something about Mike, boy. That little skinny dude can do it, bro. He broke all rules.
He broke-
danced
yeah, he
all
broke
kind
a lot of
ways.
rules, all right.
Yeah, he broke a lot of rules. Yes, sir. Him and Prince. Are the Cowboys actually being smart? We
answer the
work in a
question?
cap space.
I didn't know one asked me
What's
the
the,
question.
what about it, band? What?
What?
They didn't have bands
What
back
about
in the,
your band?
in the
Favorite
in the
band?
1600s, in the dark days, did they?
Why?
I'm just saying
You would
that-
know before I would.
The little guy.
Oh.
The music to that show was good.
I don't know. I have a diverse musical taste.
My God, we didn't ask. Actually, we didn't ask for that.
Well, I'm telling you.
I'm just saying.
It doesn't matter. Jesse,
Today,
you ain't hosting today.
We're not
I'm
asking
back.
for that.
I'm back.
We just wanted to know
You
your
ain't
band.
hosting.
We didn't ask for your diversity history.
I don't know.
We just wanted to band.
I would probably have to put Metallica up there just because they have so many good. Like Michael, I like Michael Jackson. Michael would be in there.
I got to listen to some of this stuff. I got to go get it now.
Metallica?
Both of y'all brought that up. Yeah.
I can tell you what kind of day this is going to be. This is going to be a fun show.
You know, reworking
all
cap
over the
space when
swerving
divisions.
already.
So what you meant by that? The division
Wait
so
a minute.
bad.
Wait a minute. How can you do this?
What's that?
We start the show and you grab the steering wheel away from me, Kurt, and
I'm
Jesse.
sorry, I'm sorry.
Jerk us in the ditch, and then when we try to keep it in the ditch, you pull it back on the road and go, "Oh, I'm not a part of that."
A little Deshaun Watson over there. Huh?
What?
What?
I said ditch.
Jerking us in the. All right, let's go.
Oh.
Well, what about the two cocks? We missed one.
We know.
Yeah, well, how upset were you when the word came out that Cox hit the free agent market?
Jesse, I'm telling you, from now on, when it's a when it's a good player, do not put me on this thread. All right?
He jinxed it?
Oh, man, when he did that, I said, we ain't got to.
No, honestly,
what happened.
Let's be for real, though. That was for the best. For us.
Yeah.
Not for the Cowboys.
Right.
For us.
Oh, yeah.
Our show.
We would have been in trouble.
Gave you a tweet.
We would have been in trouble.
Yeah.
Imagine having Jabril and Fletcher.
Yeah. When the Eagles released Fletcher Cox, Jesse sent out a
ugly email.
Text to the thread. Which put,
he
put
tweeted
Nate
it.
on high alert.
He tweeted.
Oh, you
I
did
told him
tweet it
to.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tweeted.
yeah.
So
Chris
tweeted.
Chris
So
put
go
the
look
battery
at.
in my
But
back.
then Philly signed him back. So
Yeah, so we missed out.
saved us a
Just one cock on D now.
few calls.
Okay.
X. You need to pronounce that X. Cox.
Yeah, you just mispronounced his name, and that will get us in trouble.
Cox.
There you go. All right, you said it the right way. How do y'all? Okay, so how did y'all feel about the Randy thing? Are you okay with him going away in exchange for what we got?
You know, I will say that I was.
Because it's the same amount of money, right?
Yeah, I think. Well, two things. One, I'm a little surprised at how many fans are glad to see him gone, or don't feel like he just wasn't loyal. My second thought is I think he wanted to go to Denver. And so whether that language was, you can hear both sides of the story. Cowboys did this, that. Gregory's agent, him, didn't do this, that. I think at the end he just wanted to go to Denver. Jerry called him the night before and pitched him. When Jerry can sell anything.
Yeah.
And Randy's like, yeah, sure, I'll go. Yeah, you talked me into it, sure. But once he get off the phone and once he thought about it, I think he's, I'm going to Denver.
What do you guys think?
I have to be careful.
Uh-oh.
Because
I mean, you can mispronounce a man's name to make it into a bad name, but you got to be careful.
With your opinions.
Yeah. Because I've been pretty strong on Twitter the last couple of days. And sometimes, it's like when our boss is kind of quiet, he's either like really vacationing hard or just really watching from a distance. And so too much of the accumulation might get a call to the office. And I like to wait till like October to get my calls to the office.
At least there's other things going on in October that if you do get a call to the office, they usually move on fairly quickly because there's a lot of action going on. If you do it in the off season, it lingers a little bit longer than you normally would. So I get it.
You want to tweet that on Fridays.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Did you guys get a chance to see Randy go off yesterday in his series of tweets?
Toxic fan base or something.
But he also said that ownership didn't work in good faith.
Right. Right.
And so I look at that situation. I said, the Cowboys had the entire 2021 year to talk and negotiate terms, language, all of these things. You had all year to get that stuff figured out. Mm-hmm. He was in the building every single day. And I get it. Sometimes, agents and teams and players don't want to talk during the season, but there's enough space where the agent and the front office could have casual conversations about, hey, here's what we're looking at. Okay, we really want Randy to come back, but we're kind of want to protect ourselves on this end. And then there could be a back and forth thing kind of throughout the season, maybe towards the end of the year. But when you wait and you gamble, and we all know that Jerry has always said, deadline makes deals. But when you wait and you give these players the opportunity to date other women, to kind of see what's out there in the market, see if some other skirts kind of tickle their fancy. And then you also have to remember the day and age of the player.
I was going to ask that. Like, are players more sensitive now than they used to be? Used to, it was like,
oh my God,
I ain't letting that stuff bother me. Now,
way more sensitive.
That's society in general.
And I, one of the funniest things, and I will laugh at this. I belly laugh at this when someone, and I don't even know how people even know this stuff happens, but they'll go, oh, so and so took his bio and changed it. Or so-and-so, you can tell when someone scrubs their account, but when a player scrubs their account of the team, I'm like, is that not the bleepity bleep bleep wackest stuff you've ever seen in your life.
And that's news now. That's legit news. If a guy unfollows his team,
like think about where we're at
That's
to
news.
society today. Like that is the indication of
he's moving on.
I'm moving on.
Yep.
And so I think great for Randy that he got the money, the life-changing money that he's always wanted. I'm happy that he got to a place where he is, I assume, satisfied. But I do think the Cowboys, they sometimes miscalculate their ability to close deals. And sometimes in negotiation, it's a level of gambling. And when you go to the casino, sometimes you hit the casino in the head, and sometimes the casino hits you in the head. And you got to live with whatever the outcome is for that particular trip to the casino. I think the Cowboys gambled, and they thought, well, we've been there for Randy, and he's been around, and we thought we had a deal, and you gambled, and you lost. And that's the part of the business.
Randy was smart in that he didn't. Cowboys might have wanted to sign him earlier and work out a deal, but Randy was like, no, I'm going to test. I'm sure his agent was like, we're going to test the free agent market. And then at that point, like you said, the Cowboys are, he's looking at other skirts, and who knows?
You know what?
Dorrance is your guy. How do you okay with that?
I feel good with that. But on the Randy case, they made a few moves internally and with the NFL, so that allowed him that. If it had been on the old kick, you'd have had Randy sign, no problem. Mm-hmm. But now they give the freedom with how they test the things that they allow. Yeah. No suspensions. Okay, the Joneses walked through that. The fans, see, I'm talking about from a fan point. The fans saw you walk through that. They saw you in your worst times. They heard the rumors of your worst times, and the Cowboys walked through that. They kept you afloat. So as a fan, you ain't hearing that. You do not want to hear what Jesse just said. It don't calculate as a fan, but as a businessman, it does have to calculate on Randy's part and on Mr. Jones and his party's part. So I just hope that years down the road they can come back together. Not for much as in playing for the Cowboys, but it's just keeping an open dialogue because it's something to be said.
And honestly, when it comes to Jerry and players, it's always been that.
Yeah.
Right? Even if things got a little bit pretentious, whatever you want to say, a little tight, a little aggressive in negotiation.
Ominous.
Yes, ominous.
I like that. I like that.
Jerry always figures out a way to kind of
formulate it on my tongue.
It's something it's something that always brings it back. We thought the same thing with Des Bryant, and that was how that ended. The next thing you know, they're sitting in the suite together. Jerry always has a way to be able to smooth things out and say, hey, let bygones be bygones. It's a business. And I think that's one of the – if there is like a really good quality about Jerry is that he's able to let bygones be bygones and move on from it and allow that relationship to kind of mend and build itself back up to something that, that's amicable.
Yeah. Do you think Gregory's side negotiated in good faith? I mean, he said the ownership is, but what about them? I mean, as one of our followers, I think, Brian Ryle pointed out, Gregory and Lyle Collins had the same agent. So his agent knew Collins lost his guarantees when he got suspended last year. So he had a good idea what was going on. And then when the Cowboys tried to call them back, apparently they weren't answering the phone. So it's blame all the way around, I think. So.
What's so funny is the Cowboys always cover themselves. When you think you got the best contract in the world, your agent read over and say, sign this, Nate, or sign this, Jesse. About a year, 2 years later, you be like, oh, wow.
That was in there?
And so that was in there with Gregory. That was in there with Lyle. Mm-hmm. And the Cowboys rarely ever have to use that because the players don't get out of line to the point where they have to. But this one or two times with these players happen to have the same agents, it happened. Yeah. And now this agent like, nah, we going to let everybody know. These suspensions that are in place that unlocks your money, whether it's the league done it or the Cowboys done it, this is what happened. Where it all falls is always going to fall on the Cowboys because even though the NFL is bigger than the Cowboys, we look at it in a different way as fans. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it looks bad, but It wasn't no bad faith on either part.
Right. Okay.
Because it wasn't no bad faith on either part.
Did it surprise you guys the fan reaction? It seems like most fans are kind of glad he's gone.
You know what surprised me is I really thought, and I love Randy. He was one of my guys on the team. I really thought everything that Jerry did for him, I thought that would be collateral to.
I think most fans felt that
to
way.
get him on either a discount or like there was a lot of stuff.
But why? Because so here's go ahead.
Because he should have been out of the league.
Okay.
If he would have been on any other team, like he wouldn't have even gotten a second, third, fourth chance. Like he wouldn't. So to me, it's like it's a personal thing.
You know what people get second and third chances? You know what people get second and third chances? This is a question.
I can't hear you. What'd you say?
People with talent.
Thank you. People with talent get second and third chances. That's with anybody.
Right.
Josh Gordon is still getting contracts in the National Football League.
Yeah.
Josh Gordon
that's
is
crazy.
still like we've seen people where Deshaun Watson, Leonard Little. I mean,
the guy we had defensive end here a year or so ago. I can't think of his name. Alden Smith. Greg Hardy. I mean, there are people.
If you can play.
You can. So when people say, well, the Cowboys did X, Y, and Z.
It's because he could play.
It's because he could play. So the Cowboys were just. It wasn't as if it was a real family member and you wanted to. And I'm not saying that the Cowboys are disingenuous with what they want to do. But make no mistake about it, there is an ulterior motive in this.
Oh, 100%.
It's I want to keep you close because Randy Gregory would have been a first-round talent had he not had his trouble in Nebraska. Okay? They see the talent. They watch it every day on film, and they see the way that he can run and bend and all that kind of good stuff. So it wasn't like they were saying, if you had an issue, we just go discard you and that be that. It's always there's something that has it's a reciprocal thing. We're gonna keep you around because when you do figure it out, and it's costing us nothing. What is it like a couple $100 to the common person is life-changing money sometimes. A couple $100 to the Dallas Cowboys is
contributes to life change.
It's the money that you give the guy in the bathroom at the club who handed you mints. It's that money to the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm not mad at Randy at all. I don't blame Randy. I don't
blame anybody.
I don't either. It's business.
It's business.
It's the NFL.
Right.
I mean,
that's my biggest thing. Yeah. I don't think Randy operated in bad faith. I don't think the Cowboys operated in bad faith because at the end of the day, they have to protect their brand and their product and their pockets. Yeah. And Randy has to do the same exact thing.
Yep.
It just so happens. But what bothers me is when people say that he owes somebody something.
No, I don't agree with that.
You don't owe anybody anything.
No.
You don't owe anybody anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
it's a business. Because I tell you what, if they needed to and it made business sense, like
getting rid of Lyle.
I don't ever fault a player for going and making his money because guess what? When the team's done with you, not just here, any team in the league, when they're done, you never know when your last paycheck is. Right. You might not get another paycheck. So when they're done, they don't owe you anything and they cut you. So if you're a player, in the same way, man, like he didn't owe them anything.
Right.
I was just surprised. I thought knowing him personally that he would take that as an investment, but he didn't. He took it and went somewhere else for whatever reason. And I bet you a year or two from now we hear more about what happened kind of behind the scenes. I bet there's more to it.
Think so?
I don't know so, but I think so.
Yeah.
So
well, again, I think he wanted to go to Denver, so he went to Denver.
Orange looks good on him.
Like I said, we can sit here, but fans, especially Cowboy fans, I'm one of them. We ain't trying to hit. You can say all you want. You can pass it how you want. Nah, we ain't trying to hit.
And that's the thing that frustrates me about fans is now it's, he ain't D-Ware. Get him the hell out of here. Us taking 6 sacks to Denver. And they attack the man. They attack the man's character.
That comes with the territory.
I 100% get it.
Back in the day, people were more sympathetic to what was really going on. Today, it ain't no lines that you can't cross. It's only a few lines that you can't cross. As long as you ain't getting into that, you can say what you virtually want, especially if you slick with words.
See, and to me, that's not right.
But you know what?
And then,
that is the life we live. That's why you are great at what you do on this thing, because that's the life we live. And
Nate's
like
holding his phone up. He's not talking about the podcast.
Yeah.
He's talking about Twitter.
I'm great on this thing too.
yeah.
Let's be clear.
The bottom line, like I say, from a business point, and like I said at the beginning, I don't think nobody did an unfair move. I really don't. But as a fan, you ain't want. We don't want to hear it. What I'm telling you, our fans, move on, brother, sister, move on, because we have not tapped none of any free agent of note. We have not. That's you sit up here and talk about Randy, Lyle, Cooper. They gone, and especially Cooper. He's really gone. Yeah. So we and that's what I'm feeling. I'm like, as a fan, what do we got? What do we don't have Connor Williams. Everybody talking about good reading Connor Williams. Okay, who gonna replace Connor Williams? Because the guy we replaced with him during the season, he got pushed back into the quarterback. So now what are we going to do?
And that's another thing, right? You talk about, and I forget where I heard this from, and forgive me if someone said it, I apologize. I just can't think of it right now. But talk about the 50-50 crapshoot that is the NFL draft.
Yeah.
So even if you can go all day and say, yeah, hey, we're going to get us a guard or a tackle or a center in the first round and use this. It's a 50-50 chance this dude ain't got it.
Ball, Josh Ball got hurt.
There's a 50-50 chance that this dude could be the next, Travis Frederick or Zach Martin or Lyle Collins, not Lyle, but left tackle, Tyron Smith. But there's a good chance he could be. Who dated Hulk Hogan's daughter back in the day? The center.
David Arkin?
No, the other center. Another center. Short, little, stubby dude.
It don't matter.
Cowboys center.
Phil Costa.
Phil Costa. It could be the next Phil Costa. It could be, someone. That's a lot of pressure to put on Will McClay and that scouting department, because you're saying, hey, we got a need. You got to fill it. And now all you could do is go by the evaluation and tape and hope that you make the right decision. But that's a 50-50 crapshoot about when you add that guy into the mix. And that's why I was so big on last year, saying it is so rare that you kind of have the triple crown of your regular guys, your free agents, and your rookie class all come together. And the Cowboys had a great mixture of free agents that came in, Javon Curse and Neal and Hooker and other guys come in and have your veterans, and then you have Micah Parsons. They had a good mixture of all that coming together. And I said, it'll never look that way again. It'll never look that way again, meaning with those players. Now you have to take that shot next year at it all working in unison, in concert, to have success. And that's a hard thing to do year in, year out.
All right, let's take our first break. When we come back, how do y'all feel about their free agent signings so far, and who's left out there, and more when we come back on Hangin' with the Boys.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? Have you been treating it well? Has it been going places? If not, then it's about time you start using SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to get your butt tickets to live events. Just ask the thousands of other butts who have rated it the #1 ticketing app. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now or visit SeatGeek.com to get tickets to sports, concerts, and live events and make your butt happy. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
It's game day. You know what that means. First, kebab prep. Steak, pepper, onion, steak, pepper, onion. Next, a counterclockwise lap around the room. Now the lucky grease-stained jersey goes on. And lastly, the dance. You know the one. This is a game day ritual no matter where you are. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com and keep the tradition alive and well. Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching Grandma how to video call. And teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
Back to Hangin' with the Boys.
Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. And let me tell you about this Cowboys Taco Fest. Miller Lite proudly presents the first Cowboys Taco Fest at Miller Lite House at AT&T Stadium on Saturday, May the 7th. Celebrate Cinco de Mayo with world-class tacos, drinks, live music, and more. Take advantage of early bird pricing with tickets as low as $15. Visit SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing provider of AT&T Stadium. All right.
All right.
What do you think so far about the moves they've made in free agency, or what our fans would probably call the lack of moves? They got a little busy last week, though.
Yeah.
They got some guys signed.
I mean, like Nate mentioned earlier, I mean, they're I would call depth for the most part. I don't know out of that group you've got any studs yet, but then again, we didn't think Curse and some of those guys last year would be. So, like you said, they're hoping to hit again on some of these cheap options or short options and that kind of
are
thing.
any of y'all? I mean, they haven't done anything in free agency since
the corner.
Brandon Carr.
Yeah.
Like not a big name splash kind of guy. I mean, Robert Quinn, but he wasn't.
Philosophy.
He just came here and had a crazy year and then went on and got paid.
But I mean, for him, I think.
So I mean, you didn't expect anything to happen, especially with all the talk of them having to free up money and doing all that stuff, right?
No, it just hadn't been their MO here the last few years, like you said. But there's still a lot of good free agents out there, so there's still an opportunity to maybe spend a little money, bring in a real impact guy, but in the past, they just haven't really done it.
I'm going to tell you something. They better, first and foremost, they better fix their offensive line. I don't care what you do.
Free agency or draft?
Draft, free agency. I don't care how it go. Fix your offensive line. Okay, we got Zeke one more year. We got him and Tony Pollard as a combo one more year. Okay? And you got your quarterback. You better be thinking. Every meeting should start off, who's on the wire today? Who's out there as an offensive line? Because if you don't have offensive line, I don't care how good y'all think everybody else is, it ain't finna happen. If you think last year was a disaster, we don't even have those guys that let this disaster happen. So you better fix your offensive line.
All right, Jesse. Kurt has a question, and I want you to answer this because I'm interested in what you have to say about this. Kurt wants to know if the Cowboys are actually being smart and reworking cap space when the division is so bad, and then reload and still win. Because I think our fans are like, what the hell is going on? They're cutting guys I didn't think were going to get cut. They're letting guys go. They're restructuring deals. They're not really signing anybody.
The question came to me because of what you talked about last week. They're gearing up for 2023. I mean, and that they're creating space, but in a way, is that smart because they kind of have the luxury of doing so now because the division's so bad. So, were they going to win the Super Bowl this year regardless?
Maybe.
Think so? I mean, maybe now's the time. Maybe they saw what they had up against them.
So you're saying you can unload these guys and these contracts
they can restructure
and still compete in this division.
Exactly. They can still compete. They have Dak. They still have a lot of weapons on offense if the offensive line can hold up. They've still got one of the best defensive players in the league in Parsons. I mean, maybe they have what's there to still compete, to still make a playoff run or reach the playoffs in this awful division, which allows them to build for the future.
So, I've been saying it for weeks now that the Cowboys are setting the table for 2023. But it's one of those things where you get it, you understand it, at least I do. But then you look at the division and you go, this is for the taking. And when you see how everything has shifted to the AFC, and Debo Samuels came out and said it the other week. He said that the NFC is getting easier and easier each week. Nothing is ever promised tomorrow. for any of us. So, and we live and we play in the world, and you're seeing it where the cap is a thing, but I don't know how real this thing is. Because we see contracts getting worked off. Like, they just gave Matthew Stafford some more money.
Yeah, Amari Cooper totally restructured.
Amari Cooper, you're like, that's the same deal that could have got done here. But we won't even get into that.
Yeah.
So you're doing it at a rate and at a pace where, especially when you have a starving fan base, it doesn't look good when your fan base are sitting around and watching everyone else get extremely better. And you're sitting there saying, well, we're getting some cap space. Like, fans don't think about the game that way. And who's to say, like, I can sit here and say and predict that they're going to try to go get Sean Payton next year. Well, that means that they have to go, and then once Sean Payton gets here, that doesn't magically mean when Sean Payton comes here that this team is all of a sudden now a Super Bowl contending team. And every year that you're not getting better, another team in your division is. Another team that you all have to play is. So while the Cowboys may be kind of staying pat and looking around the league, I'm telling you, the New York Giants will get better. They will get better. That new situation they got going on in New York, those people are going to find players to put on the football field. Philadelphia will try their best to get better. They may have to find a new quarterback, but same thing with Washington. They're going to try to get better. And if you're not getting better, then you're getting worse. And you can't just hit the switch and think that it's just going to happen. And I think the Cowboys sometimes arrogantly think we're the Dallas Cowboys. And they say it to themselves, and they look themselves in the mirror and say, we're the Dallas Cowboys. We'll be all right. When you start looking around the league, you're saying, yeah, but you ain't competing at a level that these other folks are competing at. What's your $40 million quarterback? What's your top draft pick running back? You know, whatever it is that you got to try to address. Because even now, when you bring in all these rookies, it's going to be a rookie process, getting them all together, getting them all, worked out. And one of the greatest things, while I'm not crapping on Micah, because I think Micah is an exceptional player, what Micah is going to have to adjust to, and I hope that he's doing this offseason, is there's film on Micah now. There is a year worth of film. See, you can't surprise anybody anymore. You can't line up a defensive end now and go, oh, Cal, hold on. We never seen this one before. We didn't think he was going to play defensive end, and there's no answer for it. Now teams, when they play the Cowboys, will have an answer for Micah Parsons, a la what San Francisco did to him and to the Cowboys in the playoffs. They just said, hey, George Kittle, we get that you're a really good tight end, but you're really, really athletic. And so we're going to just use you to get in the way of Micah Parsons. And Brandon Ayuk, you're going to do the same thing. And you other guys, you're going to do the same thing. We're going to make number 11's day a little bit more difficult than it has been all year long. We can't match him strength for strength and speed for speed, but we can bother him. We can slow him down. We can make him ride the hump. We can make him run the hump. We can make him come underneath, because we're going to use athletic guys who are willing to sell out. Receivers, tight ends, running backs, fullbacks, who are willing to sell out for the betterment of the team. And now when teams see that, they'll go, oh, okay, here's how we'll try to do it as well. We'll run away from him, and we use an athletic guy to block him to make him have to take 4 steps to get to where he wants to before he bursts, instead of taking 1 step and getting to where. So there's a lot of things that happen throughout the course of the offseason that now where it was, Trayvon Diggs is, newsflash, people, newsflash. Sorry to say this. You can call me a hater all you want. He ain't getting 11 interceptions next year. That's not happening. What? That's not happening. If he gets half that, if he gets 6, if he gets 5, that's a hell of a year.
Yeah.
He ain't getting 11. What are you at, 12? 11, 12?
11 last year.
He ain't getting 11 again. So there's 6 more times where you're not going to be able to turn the ball over. So there's certain things that when you have that opportunity to capitalize on it, you want to capitalize on it. I just don't think the Cowboys are being aggressive enough to capitalize on a weaker division, a weaker conference, a weaker side of the of the NFL, and when they don't, other teams are getting better, and it's going to be even more difficult for them to kind of run that cycle again and put themselves back in contention.
In about 2 months, this thing will be complete, and we'll be all running around either happy or sad. The media, our guys. Everyday guys, media-wise, going to be pumping us full of jelly and juice and sugar and candy. And we'll see. You know,
is there still
every time I see a text from one of you guys, not you, Shannon, me and you be waiting on them too. Every time I see it, I'm like, wow, okay, here we go. And it don't be 35 minutes later. Oh, this guy's off the market. Don't worry. I mean, we text Fletcher Cox in less than 30 minutes. Oh, don't worry. Word is he's going back. Yeah. So we don't even get a chance to even look at guys. I mean, you can say what you want, that we are interested or they can leak it out. But, fellas, we're in a wait-and-see mode more than we ever been.
Yeah.
What are you
do you think the Cowboys can still have a successful free agency period or class or whatever? I mean, they're still –
It's going to take some coaching, man.
As far as signing guys, I mean, if they brought in like Zadarius Smith, they brought in Back Curse and J.C. Trotter's out there, Treader. If they,
it's going to take.
Can
some
they
coaching.
still be successful?
It's going to take some coaching, like it did for Coach Quinn last year, to see a guy and to see where he fits. It's going to. Will McClay has to really be hip and hip with these coaches and saying, are you sure this is the guy? Or whoever's over that type of the free agent market.
Now let me ask you this question.
Is this the guy?
When you're building this team, right? Are we building this team now offensively? Are we building this team defensively? Are we saying that we're going to be a defensive-minded team and we're going to put a lot of our chips on the defensive side of the ball? Or are we saying, hey, listen, we're going offense again?
You forced to go
because
offense.
if you go Zadarius Smith, Bobby Wagner, Curse, and you sign all those guys, then the likelihood of you signing an offensive lineman, another receiver, maybe another tight end, and
you're right.
Those things are kind of slim.
Where are you most just go around the table here? Where are you most concerned right now? What position? And this person doesn't have to fit into that position, but what free agent that's out there would you like to see him go get?
Well, the position would be the offensive line. I mean, you're rebuilding it now. You have really one guy you can count on in Martin. And you hope and pray Smith can give you, 15 games or something like that. And outside of that, you hope Steele can take another step. He wasn't bad last year.
Steele is your right tackle.
Yeah, can be oddish.
He's your right tackle.
You got no left guard. I mean, and like said earlier, doesn't matter what kind of playmakers you got back there. If Dak's on it running for his life, then it's going to be hard to get anything done.
Is there any free agent out there that you would go after?
No, I don't know enough to weigh in on quality free agents. I'd like to see an impact player, though.
By the way, Nate, kudos to you. You said on this very show, in that chair, when everyone was trying to run Terrence Steele out of town, just give this kid some time.
Yeah.
Give him some time. Let me see some more of him. Apparently they saw something on that side of the building, too.
I'm with Kurt.
Offense.
You better
line.
I said it when Tony first signed his first big contract, and my wife got tired of it. She almost kicked me out of the house because I said, "Wow, we haven't put an offensive line together yet, and for 3-4 years, we got Tony beat up. Yes, he running around making miracles, but he was getting beat up. Okay, y'all, Dak done had an ankle. Dak done had a shoulder.
2 shoulders.
Dak done had this. If you let this kid run around for another 2 years getting beat up and crushed, then all of a sudden somebody going to get this, we better fix the offensive line and we better run the ball a little bit more. Then all of a sudden we better hope that it's another Dak out there because this one here ain't going to be.
It's like an endless cycle.
Yes. We have to go offense. Have we signed the tight end yet? Have we signed our tight end yet?
We haven't.
I got another one on the franchise.
Dalton's still on the franchise, and they re-signed the Sprinkle guy.
Sprinkle for what? He don't block. I'm being honest, man.
He's on the roster, I think.
We need a blocking tight end. And I don't care if the league know he's a blocking tight end. I don't care if the NFC East. We need a blocking tight end. We got the tackles. One of them going to play 12 games. The other one going to give you 16. We got a right guard. Now fill the other things in, and let's go. Our offensive coordinator has to be better. Our offensive line coach did a great job 2 years ago holding this thing together, but you have to get a more physical offensive line.
Where you at, Jesse?
Oddly enough, I'm going to take the Nate Newton approach. We need a defensive tackle. We need a big, greasy up the middle. Especially when you look at how we're playing this year, you got to play Tennessee.
They're gonna
know what Tennessee going to do to you. Woo. Know what Tennessee going to try to move. They're going to try to move that offensive line. That defensive line. And for me, like, I'm done with the regular season accolades. I'm done with the regular season everything. What are we gonna do when we get in the playoffs?
You on the Nate train? Give me 2 rounds into the playoffs before
because I look at it, and while the division has still gotten weaker, Rams are still here. Yep. Gonna have to play them. Mm-hmm. Old Tommy Boy realized being at home with them kids and that wife ain't what you thought it was going to be, my guy.
Didn't take him long, did it? About 3 months of that. Woo.
He came on back, and then the bullies are still there. The bullies ain't going nowhere. They're going to try to upgrade their quarterback position, but they're going to come out and still try to be a very, very physical football team. Can we match that? I don't know. The Rams and Tampa, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's what I'm looking at. And so until we find a way, and I can tell you right now, Bruce Arians and Tom Brady, they're going to try to establish that run game in the playoffs. Yeah. You know Debo and that crew and Trent, when they put the boom box on their shoulder and they listen to the Kodak Black, you listen to the Kodak Black and you coming out, you might be a murderer. You might can murder somebody, and then what the Rams are gonna be, if we ain't able to stop that up front.
See, that's what I wonder. The Cowboys went into this year thinking we can't win a Super Bowl, so we're going to try to reload and gear up for 2023. Yet still have the luxury of being a contender in this division.
Don't you find it strange? We've been doing this show how long now?
3 years.
3 years. And even before Jesse come, the 2 years, a year and a half, we did it before Jesse came.
That don't even count.
And it keep coming down to the same thing. Last year, it came down to the
same. What was going through your head right there? Shut the hell up. Like, that was going through your head right there?
Nothing.
Came down
just happy to be back.
And it came down to the same thing again. Every year, why do we have to be the team where everybody talks about everything except the same thing that hurts us every year? Are we going to stop the running game? Are we going to stop someone from running on us? 3 years ago, it was the Rams. Just came, boom.
With the fat man, he was on the couch.
So now, are we gonna do that? We can't run the ball, and we can't stop the run. So whenever you want to beat us, just start running the ball.
Yeah. What do you think? What do they need? What worries you most?
Offensive line, just because of Dak and the injuries, and I got a lot of worries about this team, to be honest with you. But that's probably my biggest, just because
we don't have a route runner. We don't have a route runner.
Wide receiver.
We don't have a route runner.
I'm not worried about wide receiver, but I'm going to need to see it. Just like we talked about last year. Like, I wasn't worried about the offense. I had concerns. Yeah. I needed to see it be the team that it was in the first 6 weeks. I think the same thing with the receiving core. Like, I think they have potential, but I mean, I can't get comfortable with Michael Gallup having that severe of an injury and him being your number 2 and your number 1 hasn't proven that he can be a number 1. Like, I think CeeDee's got the potential, but it's like, and then you go to, like, I mean, hell, you had Amari here, and is it that you didn't know how to use him, or is it that
when 2 years ago, that's why we drafted him and he did everything
right,
traded for him?
Like, there's so many questions, and it's like, okay, why isn't Amari here?
Yeah, it's
why
something
isn't
more than the contract.
Yeah, why isn't Lyle here? Is it
something more than the contract?
Yeah, so it's like I just there's so many things that I think are going on behind the scenes right now that I don't have any answers. Like, why are they doing this? Why are they doing? I don't know if everybody's got hunches and theories, but I just think there's a ton of stuff going on that nobody knows about. So, all right, let's take our last break. When we come back, we would be amiss if we didn't let Jesse talk about his UNC Tar Heels on this show for the last segment and give us his thoughts and opinions, because I'm sure you were just happier than a pig in slop this
dude
week,
went
weren't
through
you?
800 emotional changes, man.
I did.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that when we come back on Hanging with the Boys.
Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? Have you been treating it well? Has it been going places? If not, then it's about time you start using SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to get your butt tickets to live events. Just ask the thousands of other butts who have rated it the #1 ticketing app. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now or visit SeatGeek.com to get tickets to sports, concerts, and live events and make your butt happy. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
How great would it be to travel to watch the Cowboys win on another team's turf? Pretty great. But honestly, just watching the game from anywhere but your house would be fun. Even a hotel bar with some guy named Phil from St. Louis who thinks Oakland still has a team. So whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching Grandma how to video call and teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
We are back. Thank you to Wingstop for sponsoring the show and being on board with us and putting up with our nonsense for the last however many years it's been. We got to get some food in here now, fellas. Soon. It'll happen soon. All right. In the break, we were talking about a little March Madness and what's going on. Kurt's got the bracket pulled up.
I do.
Jesse, you got a little bit of a vested interest in this year's Sweet 16. You want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, man.
Beat your chest a little?
My North Carolina Tar Heels, we had a good weekend here in Fort Worth, Texas.
Did you go?
I did. Oh. Absolutely.
Were you sitting on the
did.
bench?
No. See, COVID and the NCAA has changed a lot of things. Like before, you can kind of go by the practice. Can't go by practice anymore. Can't go in the locker room after the games. There's no family waiting area anymore. Like all that stuff used to be possible pre-COVID. Now you can't come to the hotel. So it's like a lot of guys that I know on the coaching staff and
you still pretty connected?
I'm pretty connected.
Football and basketball?
You know the odd part about it is, and it frustrates me to no end, I have more connections and I'm treated better.
Basketball?
In the basketball office, in the basketball quarters.
That's your school,
Wow.
though. That's your school, though, man.
But the football people treat me like I ain't nothing.
A jag? Just a jag?
Well,
I'm
you
like,
said enough, they started to believe you. Stop saying it on the show.
No. I'm a jag in the NFL. I was the man in North Carolina. Like I was the man on the football field. But we had a really good weekend, man.
I think if you'd have went to a black college, we could have put you in the Hall of Fame.
I sat close to Coach Williams. He was in attendance. Roy Williams was in attendance. I sat 2-3 seats down from him. And
the one guy from Oklahoma?
The other Roy.
Okay, all right.
Not the one from Texas or Oklahoma. The one from Asheville.
Okay.
And it was good to see Coach. I haven't seen Coach in a while. Just him being busy, me being busy. But it was a good chance to see him. And we whooped up on Marquette in the first round, and then everyone thought, the mighty Baylor Bears were coming to town, and I was just like, listen,
we're not mighty.
Just not mighty at all.
Yeah, Chris, how you feel about that?
I didn't think we were going to win it this year because we've lost a lot of guys. Our top scorer, we lost him like 6 weeks ago.
But did you feel like you were going to beat Jesse's Tar Heels?
No.
No. Yeah. When he do that, yeah. So let's call a duty call.
I did not have him go to the Final Four this year because the last team that won back-to-back, it's been a while.
He didn't ask you that, Chris.
It's been a while.
Did you think that you was going to call a duty Jesse team?
No.
No, I knew it was going to be a game.
Okay, but you should have won.
We almost had the biggest comeback in the history of NCAA. So
but like the great prophet,
we would have been talking about it today.
Like the great prophet Brandy Norwood says, she's a great prophet and a great singer. Brandy Norwood almost doesn't count. So we won't worry about that. But
we found that out with the Randy Gregory deal.
Yeah.
Hey, I called Jesse right after the game was over. I said he's not going to answer the phone. Boy, he sung all Tar Heels. He was singing it, man.
But no, it was fun. It was a great atmosphere. Here's what I love about, like, there are these traditions that we have at North Carolina, and even though Coach is retired, right, and he is Roy Williams, he's a 3-time national champion, Hall of Fame coach. Well, the rules go back all the way to Dean Smith. Dean Smith's family, his wife, never sat in front of former or current players and family. Never. All the years he coached at Kansas, all the years he coached at North Carolina, his wife, when she would come to the game with his children and grandchildren, they never sat in front of current or former players and their families. Just a rule. So we get to the game, and I'm on the same row as Coach, right? Like three seats down from Coach. But behind him is Raymond Felton, who was
the man.
Stud at North Carolina.
Right.
He big as hell now. He could.
Ooh, yeah.
If we looking for a pulling guard,
last time I saw him, I wanted to dribble him.
Man, he the round mound of sound right there. Sorry, Ray. And after the game is over, Coach looked at me and he goes, I told Becca that Becca's who is Coach Hubert Davis' right hand person. He goes, I told Becca, you got to change my seat. She said, Coach, what was wrong? She goes, I was sitting in front of Raymond Felton. He goes, I don't sit in front of players and their families. And so she was like, well, we won. She's like, he goes, dang it, I know. Now I got to sit there again. And so, but that's just the way that he is. And he coached, like he was coaching, like you could see him in the stands, like in it, coaching in the stands. Like he wasn't like yelling stuff out, but he would look over at me and he would go, right here, Jess, I would run Long Island right here. Right here, we'll run Long Island. You know what I'm talking about? Screen down, go over. I'm like, yeah, Coach, I got you. But he was just it was so fun to watch it. But I told people on Twitter, I said, if we beat the number one seed, which was the number one seed in our bracket, which was Baylor, it's not an upset for me. I'm like, we are the University of North Carolina basketball. This is not
no moral victories.
This is not an upset for us. It's like we've been hanging banners at UNC since the Baylor Bears been the Waco Cubs. Like this is like we've been doing this. So when we beat them, it wasn't like
you see him throwing shots at Chris.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm just saying.
Lobbing grenades in there.
No, you just said a shot at Chris.
I'm just saying we've been hanging banners for a long time. We've been the standard. Like Baylor's not a blue blood. They don't consider Baylor a blue blood in basketball. They don't consider them a blue blood in football either. But I mean, they're a good squad.
Man, Chris, don't take it to Chris.
He's just gonna go through all the sports.
Chris, don't do it.
Baseball, golf.
Yeah.
I mean,
Baylor
we're
Bears
better.
has some baseball now. They've had some nice baseball.
We're better. Soccer.
Will you go to
Philly?
Will
yes.
you go to the? So we go to the Final Four
in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So
or
here,
they have to make
okay.
the championship.
Well, no.
He's already booking his ticket apparently.
Well, if we go, and here's the thing that's always funny, because there's people say there's levels to this. There's levels to this, and I understand the level that I'm on.
Right.
So when you get to the Final Four, My call doesn't get taken as fast as it gets taken.
You ain't sitting 3 seats over from Coach.
No, Coach gets the call. Michael Jordan gets the call. Vince Carter, Antoine Jamison, Raymond Felton, Tyler Hansbrough. Like if you have your jersey in the rafters for being National Player of the Year, your phone call gets answered, and you probably get the number of tickets that you want for that particular game.
Right.
You know, if your jersey's behind the jersey of the National Players of the Year, you were ACC Player of the Year. Your phone call is getting taken. If you are first team All-America, your phone call is getting taken.
Jesse, you just have to call Ray, what you just call him Ray.
Yeah, Fat Ray. Say, hey, Fat Ray.
One.
No, because
there's 80,000 seats in the Superdome. Surely you can get one.
They don't give us 80,000.
40. No,
they probably give us what, 10?
Maybe.
1,000? Then we have to sell, what, 20,000 we have to sell from, like, you know what I'm saying? So you get a small. But again, what do you tell Michael Jordan when he says, I need 7? I need 10.
Would you go if you had to buy your ticket?
No.
Really?
I will never attend. I will never ever
Just a matter of principle.
I will never attend a Carolina sporting event if I have to pay for a ticket.
Just matter of principle?
Wow. Principle. Never.
I get that.
I'm never paying for a ticket to go to a Cowboys game. Never paying for a ticket to go to a Cowboys game. Sorry.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Keep talking about Jerry. You're never going to get in.
I knew Chris was waiting on the shot. I knew he was waiting on a long distance shot. What you hit him with a sniper?
You thought that was funny.
Man.
No, I'm not.
He was singing, man. He was singing up a storm.
I was happy.
Yeah, he was singing up when I called him.
Do all players Cowboys related, no matter how good or bad you were, do you get free tickets? Or do you have to know
I
the
pay
right
for
people?
some sometimes because I always try to get tickets for other people because I'm always working. So I do. It depends. You know, you always got connections. You can call people to try to work in them tickets, but Jesse knows how to work the market.
There was a point in time we had it really good where you could make a couple phone calls and get a couple tickets back in the day. It's tightened up. Like COVID tightened that thing up.
Yeah. Have you ever been to a Cowboys game as a fan since you've been working here?
I went one. Well, I was still on the merch side.
You didn't pay for it then, I'm sure.
I was on the merch side. I think I did have to pay for it. We played the Saints. It was like I'd only been here like a year or two. Like I went to New Orleans.
Oh, it was an away game.
It was away game.
You got
not home.
Those,
yeah, home. No, home. I would have. I've never been to a home game. In fact, I've been to very few events at the stadium because I used to work on the merch side, and I would have to work on
You went to a
events.
Kansas City playoff game and had to pay for tickets. Come on.
Yeah, that's how connected I am.
That's how connected this guy is.
Sat in the heat.
In a suite.
You know who I am?
In the suite. You were in the suite at Kansas City too.
I was.
For free.
I was. It was
free
nice.
food and alcohol.
And I jinxed them. They got their butts beat.
He didn't get invited back.
I'll be back. So
that's another thing. I wasn't. So this is a serious. I wasn't. I was thinking about not going to the game at Dickies Arena because I thought it was a curse that I had on the Tar Heels. Since 2009, when I got here, I've been to every single North Carolina game when they step foot in the state of Texas. I've been to Houston, been to San Antonio, been to Austin like 2 or 3 times when they were here at AT&T Stadium. They lost every single game. I was like,
so you started to not go?
I started to not go. I was like, well, it's not really me.
No.
I don't play.
No.
So I went anyway. I'm like, oh, the streak's broken. But I was nervous.
Do you think they got a shot to win it all?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I do.
Get by Gonzaga? Is that who they would play?
Gonzaga. I know that Gonzaga's the #1 team, and they got Timmy, who's a good player, and they got Chet Holmgren, who's a good player. But their conference that they play in, like that's not a real battle-tested conference.
That's true. Yeah.
And the tournament always comes down to good guard play. And I like our guard. I like R.J. Davis, the point guard, and then we have 2 really good wing defenders. We probably have the best wing defender in the country in Leaky Black. Like, really locks down anywhere from point guard to a small 4. And then Caleb Love, who's a guy who can get you offensive points, but also another long wing defender. And if we can keep those guys, then we got Brady Manning to transfer from Oklahoma, tall white kid who can just go get it. He can get a bucket anytime he wants to. So when you got that kind of a guard play, you got a chance. I like our guards and our guard play against any team in the country.
All right, Kurt, good seeing you, man. Good being back together, fellas. It's been too long. I enjoyed this. Jesse,
man.
Nate, thanks for bringing it. Chris, thanks for keeping us on the air. William, thanks for keeping the live streams up and going.
Can't believe it. Chris, I'm glad you took a shot, man.
We will be back
You was taking a beat
next Monday
Carolina,
on Hangin' with the Boys. See ya.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!